Hi, welcome Pisces to your reading today. It's going to be a timeless reading, but if it's meaningful for you, I'm doing the reading in April and we'll post it in April. You can treat it like a monthly reading if you like, especially if you're subscribed and come back every month. For those of you who've never seen me before, I do a different layout every month. This month I'll be doing something like a twist on a Celtic cross, and we're just going to be looking at kind of where do we go from here. I think that there's going to be a lot of new beginnings or a lot of endings for many people right now. And so we're going to dig into that reading today. We're going to do a pick a card style reading. It went over really well last month, so I'm just going to stick with that this month as well. Pile 1 is going to be the Good Fortune Tarot. We're just going to pick a top card on each of these decks to help you select your deck. And it doesn't mean it's the significator for your specific reading. So we have Knight of Pentacles here with the Good Fortune Tarot. That's going to be pile 1. Pile 2 is the Shuffle Tarot. And we have this Judgment card. Shuffle Tarot mixes the imagery from multiple traditional Rider-Waite-Smith cards. And then we have the Ace of Swords from the Druidic Tarot. That is pile 3. Okay, pile 1 is the Good Fortune Tarot, pile 2 is the Shuffle Tarot, and pile 3 is the Druidic Tarot. The piles are timestamped below, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, welcome, pile 1. Let's do a quick shuffle of this deck for anyone who selected pile 1 that needs to hear a reading from me today. Sign of Pisces, all placements, anyone who needs to hear a reading from me today. Okay, where are you now? We're going to find out where we're going to go. Let's find out where we're starting. Six of Pentacles. I don't think this is a bad place to begin. It's a place of give and take, a place of exchange. In the traditional sense, you may be on one side of this equation. Maybe you're in a period of being able to be charitable and giving. You're providing for somebody. Or maybe you're in a place where you're receiving, and that's quite a gift as well. So we have some sort of partnership, some sort of exchange relationship going on right here. What I love about this imagery is the balance of the heart and the money. Do you see that here? I really like that. It is really about charitable giving through compassion. It's a good place to start. Okay, so I've got the Temperance card here in reverse. So, coming out of a period of a lot of imbalance. Well, that explains why you could be on either side of this equation. So if you're in a position where you feel like you're giving a lot away, or feel like you have to make up for something through giving in some way. Because it's like that's what the feeling of riding the ship, the weight of the scales is like coming into balance, or at least that's how you would perceive it. And if you're on the receiving, certainly this is just saying that things are turning for you, coming back into balance for you right now. This is a gift. Let's find out a little bit more. So we've got the Hierophant here. Okay, so, wow, I do think that most of the people I'm reading for are those in a position where maybe they've been in a position to be a little bit more charitable or giving than they have been. And something has come around for them. Something is really making it clear that things are out of balance, like significantly out of balance, and almost feeling a little bit of guilt. Having spent some time forgetting about I keep saying, I want to say forgetting about wise counsel. Like maybe you had received some wise recommendations or wise advice, almost as if you had a family member who had given you some, bits of wisdom throughout your life, your younger years. And it's like you've come around again to feel like, oh, wow, I really lost sight of that. And now I know what, grandpa meant or that sort of thing, Now I know what he meant by that. It's like this is the wise counsel that's been forgotten. Maybe that forgetting is what brought you out of our harmony or out of balance. The Emperor. So the Emperor is here telling us, I think the Emperor may be you. You may be in a position where I had to pause because I think that many of you are actually cross-watching here for the Emperor. There's an Emperor in your life that this is their story. But it may be you. You may be the Emperor, but I think it's more cross-watching energy, probably. But in any case, for the Emperor here, this is part of really stepping into this mature, authoritative position, this mature role as the Emperor. So the Emperor upright doesn't have the same negative qualities as the Emperor in reverse. And the Emperor upright, really to step into that role, there has to be more than just power, wisdom, authority, those sorts of traditional characteristics. There also has to be an element of self-awareness, an awareness of where you stand in the world. With power comes great responsibility, and that is this kind of recognition that's happening here. And I see that this Emperor is looking at the crow here. Crows are incredibly wise birds, and he's really taking it all in and really observing this bird, like really observing from his standpoint. And I'm saying he because that's the energy here, but observing from his standpoint everything that has come to pass, what he's done right to get to where he is now, and what he has not done right. And I think that he recognizes that he's in a position to start reflecting on things that he's forgotten, reflecting on what's been out of balance in his life. This is the Temperance card. And it's been starting with some sort of giving, charitable giving. And actually, for some people, this is like their children or grandchildren recognizing love lost, time lost, memories lost, experiences lost. And this Six of Pentacles energy is, spending more time trying to make up for lost time, actually. So what options does the Emperor have here? Okay, we've got Justice, and we've got a Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, Queen of Swords in reverse, I'm just going to start there because the Queen of Swords in reverse is a really powerful yet not so positive character in the reading. Whereas the Justice upright card, very similar to temperance. So this is about bringing balance back into your life. There is something about your emperor energy, the emperor's energy, that is very cutthroat and has had a lot to do with the success and the position in life where the emperor is right now. I keep saying the emperor because I do feel like I'm reading for cross watchers, but the emperor may be you, but really having to be very cutthroat. I think this is the same energy as the emperor. And this is part of the imbalance that the emperor has been in, and is like leaning maybe a little bit too much into this strategic, logical, high mind, consumed by it. Almost like really tactical in a just not a incredibly positive way. I'd say that this is in an area of business, somebody who's a business person who works a lot and has used maybe some underhanded tactics to gain power, to gain position, to gain more money, just part of the climbing towards success. And that has created some imbalance here. So the options are to remain in that energy or to continue to pursue this balance. You know, Justice is just reiterating the Temperance card here, reiterating all of it actually. And you know, there's two lanes. I do see that the Emperor is recognizing, for whatever reason, I don't know why, is recognizing something's really made them pick their head up and see what's happening. But this is a well-worn path for the Emperor. So while it may be a recognition, it may be difficult to stop this this thing, because it's worked. It's worked for the Emperor, and it's given the Emperor a lot of success and a lot of power. Yeah. Where you can go from here, 8 of Pentacles is great energy. With King of Swords in reverse. Okay. Well, that's an interesting conclusion, but I'm going to read the cards as they come out. I'm not going to put a positive spin on this reading. That's also not what I do. So I'd say that this reading is saying where you go from here is you're going to kind of, I think that the energy, this is such a powerful energy. Like I said, it was a very well-worn path. It remains with you if you don't walk away from this path. I feel like you have to let go of the striving towards money. I mean, you're certainly well off enough financially, or this Emperor is well off enough financially where they could do something different, take a new path, really focus. I feel like really focusing on, giving to others. But, it's going to be very, very difficult if the Emperor is truly, sincerely seeking balance. They're going to have to make a humongous change. And I mean, I almost feel like it would lead to significant depression. That's how serious and different the change would be. But there has to be some sort of big threat around them right now. Maybe they've got a bad health diagnosis or someone in their life. Something has made the Emperor pick their head up and see what's going on here. And there's really nothing else to say here. This is very, very clear. I mean, it's just, you got to walk away from that path and find a new one. That's exactly what it's saying to me. So, all right, I don't know if this was your reading. If it was, if you liked this reading, if you would like others to see others like it, I'd appreciate a subscribe or a like. Thanks. Okay, Pisces, pile 2. Let's get into your reading. One card. Oh, I said one card and I got a bajillion cards. Okay, so when I get lots of cards, I feel we got a lot of messages that need to come. So one card for Pisces, where are they now? Okay, we've got a 9 of Swords in reverse. I'm just going to show you this card here. You know, Knight of Swords is usually a card where, when you're talking about somebody who's really riddled with anxiety. This is Shuffled Tarot, and this is on, you know, maybe a background of something more like a Wands, like a 9 of Wands. Setting up defenses and boundaries. It's still not a particularly positive energy, but it's in reverse, as if you're coming out of a period of some sort of difficult energy or moving away from this energy, have avoided it. Let's see what else. Tell me, can I get another card here? Page of Wands. Okay, that's good. There's some type of new beginning. It's actually a really wonderful new beginning that's happening here. We've got kind of the Page of Wands on the background of the sun, or with some sun imagery, I should say here. We've got the sunflowers and the little sun baby with the red flag in this page position. So there's definitely a positive new beginning, which I would say that's the thing that's helping you move away from a period of where you've had a lot of difficulty, have had to put up maybe some really big walls, like feeling very defensive and just having to keep your guard up and have really significant boundaries, maybe with the world. Not just one person, but I see just like a huge wall around you that you've set up. And this is a wall of swords, not a wall of wands. So really even protecting your mental space, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. Like those are some really thick walls, thick emotional walls, like not letting anything get in. So you're going to move forward. You're not going to let anything bring you down, right? And yeah, that's a trudge. That is a trudge towards a goal. And you've got this beautiful new thing here. I bet you worked very hard for it. I don't think that it came to you by accident. I can tell you that. Thank you for these cards. I'd like one card. What are we forgetting here? Okay. We've got the Hermit and the Ace of Swords. Okay. This Hermit is exactly the type of energy I was feeling when I was thinking on this, like where you are right now. Definitely. So I think you're maybe in a moment where you're forgetting how hard this was for you. Look at this Hermit. A Hermit is a card of spending time not in isolation, but alone in thought, like really concentrating on a matter at hand, taking time to meditate, taking time to really think through a situation very carefully. It's a positive card of spending time away from others in your own knowledge and in your own wisdom, so you can shine light on a situation. And this particular Hermit is shot through with arrows, wounded in their time alone, in time and thought. And not only that, this hermit's wearing a crown, almost like I get star energy here, like moons, crescent moons on their shoulders. I mean, there's so much symbolism in this that it's like you were this rising star, this inspiration to other people, but also so in your quiet, alone space, by yourself, when you're not putting on the mask, putting on the show, you're so wounded. It takes so much out of you to perform in this way, to do what it is that you needed to do to get towards this new beginning. Very painful in a deeply private and personal way. Very deeply private and personal. And then also this Ace of Swords here. This is also talking about this new beginning, and the beginning being a gift, right? A lot of times you see this hand coming out of the cloud bringing you a pentacle. And in here, instead, it's bringing you a sword, like the gift of wisdom, the gift of knowledge. And it's a new knowledge, a new awareness, a new success. So what I see with this in the position that it's in is it's like as if you've forgotten to recognize how hard this was and how much wisdom you gained. Like this is a very this energy here is what are the words I want to say? It's like the heart of who you are now. It was a huge evolution. It's like only you knew the extent of what was happening here. No one else could really see it from the outside. And it really changed you. And I think that you were going through that for such a long time that you've almost forgotten that you were someone else before this path began. And you've almost forgotten the evolution that occurred. And how long it took you to get the level of strength and resilience that I'm getting in the energy for this right here is so huge. And I just don't feel like I'm doing a very good justice in terms of words. Just a lot of a lot of just persistence, not giving up. And that taught you so much. That's important for some reason. Okay, what do we need to express here for Pisces? I do feel like this is one of the most important parts of this particular reading. Okay, so we've got a 5 of Swords. Boy, if that's not consistent with who you are, you're somebody with a very calm presence and calm demeanor. Like still waters run deep, that saying. I feel like that is a saying that people have used when speaking about you, if they know you at all. Yeah. A very quiet, powerful presence. This is, it's interesting because this is in the position of kind of what you need to express, and it's still a very reserved energy. So I take that to mean actually keep doing what you're doing. You don't need to change. Keeping your cards close, that's fine for you right now. You don't need to let anybody in, not on this. Right? Like this part, that's okay that you're kind of this quiet warrior. Okay, we've got a Two of Pentacles here. So we're asking where we go from here, and now that you're in this new beginning, what are your options? Well, we've got a Two of Pentacles on the background of a Two of Swords with the Fool dressed like the Hierophant. New beginning. Yes, it is. It's a new beginning with some choices to be made. That's your twos energy there. This cross between the pentacle and the swords. It's like choices to be made about which way to go in this new beginning. The Fool here of the new beginning. You've got so much wisdom that you've gained and you've earned. This is such a cool combo here because the Fool in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith is this youthful, naive character. You know, young, you think of them as like the teenager of the tarot deck who's, you know, frolicking off into the sun, all hope, no worries about the world. They're about to just march right off the cliff because they don't even see what's coming, right? And no fear of what's coming. But this Fool is dressed like the Hierophant. The Hierophant holds the keys of knowledge. The Hierophant is this wise one, right? They're a representative of the wise tradition. So now you have, that's why I was saying that was such a big part of this reading, and this reserved energy, right? This, whatever it is that you have been through, holy shit. Like, I don't know what it is, but you're like the character in the movie that's like quietly got all of the pieces to the puzzle figured out, and like everybody else thinks they're smarter than you, but you're like 27 steps ahead because you've like lived this life before, and then you come out like the ninja in the background, and like, I mean, it's just this energy that's coming forward. Like there's so much wisdom that has been gained, and it's got this like really calm, reserved, like there's no pride in it that I'm getting, like no arrogance, which is beautiful. And there's some sort of new beginning that you can walk into with all of the wisdom that you've earned here. You've got a choice to make, but I mean, with all of this other energy here, I don't know that it's going to be a difficult choice for you. I mean, look at the way that this person is sitting here. Their eyes are closed, and while the ropes are tied around their arms, their hands are free. I mean, it's like the illusion of having their hands tied, but really sitting in meditation, like, oh, I'm going to decide what to do when the time comes. Like, I really don't feel that you're going to struggle with the choice that you have to make. But there is a new beginning, just reaffirmed here. Your option is moving forward with this new beginning and having to make some choices, which I think will not be difficult choices for you to make, and where you go from here. Interesting, we've got a Six of Pentacles that came in reverse here. And I think that there's something about this that's very likely that you've given a lot of yourself to others. And this is a new beginning where there's changing of the tides here a bit, where maybe you've graduated into being able to focus on yourself a little bit more. Just wanted some more energy here. We've got the Justice card here. Yeah, bringing some balance. We've got the Lion here with Justice. So certainly that reflecting the strength and power, wisdom that you're bringing to this situation. And then we've got the Four. This is a Four of Cups, but it's on the background of the Four of Swords, which is rest. You're resting in kind of this emotional peace and harmony, finally achieving this top of the mountain. This new beginning is a completion of a very, very difficult period where there was so much sacrifice and so much giving and so much effort. You know what I'm getting from this? This is like single parent energy, right? Like, think about it. Think about that. Always giving, always having to put on a brave face, and then behind the closed doors, this is what's actually going on. Learning so much out of that experience, but it's a gift. Why would you not have arrogance? Why would you be reserved? Why would you not be gloating about all of this? Well, why would you do that? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Well, I love this reading. I hope I'm reading for somebody who is, in fact, a single parent. And that you've come into a season where, hey, maybe the kids are off to college and doing really well. You've reached a plateau. I mean, your parenting never ends. You'll always be parenting, but maybe you're entering a season where they're a little bit more independent and you can start focusing on yourself. And wow, you've got so much capability, so much like internal wisdom and power and strength. And it's a time to turn inward and focus on you. And that's the new beginning. I love that. I love that so much. Okay, Pisces, if this was your reading, claim it. I feel like it's a good one for those of you who've really made some big sacrifices. I'd love a like or subscribe if you feel this reading was for you, or if you'd like to see others like it. Thanks for joining. Okay, Pisces, final pile. This is for pile 3. Anyone who felt connected to pile 3. I just need one card for anyone in the sign of Pisces who feels connected to pile 3. Okay, we're taking this Druidess of Wands card. Ooh, I like it. Our Druidess of Wands is very powerful. I love the Druidess of Wands because she's this creative sorceress, right? Bringing things to life really with energy and power, like really putting the life into the situation, a real spark. You know, there's a spark of energy, a spark of creativity in her. Okay. We've got 8 of Wands here and also 2 of Swords. They came out together, so I'm keeping them both. So there's some sort of choice that's coming in very quickly. It's either recently come to pass or will soon come to pass. It's dropped in all of a sudden. Not something you were expecting, some sort of communication that came in and that said like, oh, you've got to choose something, right? And they're It's not an easy choice. It's where you are right now. We've got Apprentice of Wands energy. Okay, so consistent Wands energy here. And the Apprentice, this is something you've forgotten. Maybe an earlier version of yourself, something from your past. Because we've got the Druidess here and the Apprentice here. So the Apprentice is kind of the younger version. The Apprentice, the page, the new version, the youthful version, just starting off on this path toward the Queen, right? And there's something about that energy that you had in those early creative years that you've forgotten about, and it has something to do with this choice. Maybe you need to reconnect and tap into that kind of younger self. Four of Swords here. Definitely being advised to spend some time in thought and meditation, a period of rest. I'm surprised, this is kind of like a hermit version of a Four of Swords, right? Really taking time to reflect on whatever this choice is, whatever this communication is that you received. It's going to take you a lot of time to think about. You may not have as much time as you like because it's moving so quickly, but you're going to have to put some time aside to really reflect and think about all of the possibilities here. And there has something to do with who you were in your youth that you've forgotten is part of this message. Maybe it's like an early idea or, a dream, or sometimes we let go of certain energies about ourselves because they don't fit well in the current world or as we grow and evolve, and there's something about that you need to recapture. It's interesting. Okay, what's our option here? One card, please. Got a bunch of cards. We're just going to take the top card. We've got another Apprentice card. Apprentice of Swords. We had the Nine of Wands reversed, the Seven of Stones, the Four of Wands reversed, and the Six of Cups reversed. Interesting. Okay, two apprentices. There's something about new ideas here. And I think it's rooted in your past. There may have been a past idea that you never pursued for some reason. I feel like maybe the reason you didn't pursue it was because of something that happened. It may have been an idea that you had with other people, like when you were younger. See this? Like little girls, these are not little girls, but sitting around a campfire, There's groups of people in these cards. Nine of Wands, reverse. The lightning, like an idea, but it's reverse. Six of Cups, reverse. Four of Wands, a commitment. This is community. Look at all the people here in the community. So, yeah, there's something about when you were younger, like the community that you were part of. You may be far removed from that community. You may be no longer part of that community for one reason or another. I feel like part of it is you had to maybe separate yourself so you could invest in yourself, invest in your dreams. And there's something about revisiting either the ideas or maybe even that community. But it's going to, you have a new idea that is evolving out of that experience. It's important to this decision. Okay. It is. It's about making this choice. Two of Stones. And it's going to be an important choice. There's going to be a lot of celebration because you're going to make, I want to say the right choice, but I like paused before saying that. Yeah. 8 of Stones. It does have to do with what you do for work. This is interesting. So something you have to do, something that you do for work. I mean, it's like you separated yourself from your childhood, your community, a group, and you kind of let this part of you go when you did that, and you built yourself into the Druidess of Wands, still a very powerful, creative person. But there's something about revisiting the past that's important for you to create a novel idea, something new here. And that is the thing that leads you to this new choice that brings you past 7 of Stones. 7 of Stones is here. It's like you moved past this community season of life so you could just focus on you and invest in you as an individual. But then in revisiting it and making this choice, now you evolve to the next level. And that is when it really opens up. And you really hit your flow. Wow, this is great. This is so great. I think that whatever this is here feels a little scary right now, but it ends up being like a real gift because it unlocks kind of a next level for you in your career path. Something that's very, very rewarding and wonderful. And that's where you're headed. Okay. Well, Pisces, I love this reading for you. If this reading was yours, if you would like to see others like it, I'd appreciate a like or subscribe. Thanks. Take care.